Who cares what Flanders did? He's not your father.
I wish he was.
You don't mean that. You worship me.
Oh yeah? Look what I did to your picture. Look at it. Howdy doodly. Howdy doodly. Howdy doodly.
You little... You strangle you.
It's block. Gang. Boom, 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 boom. It's block. It's block. It's block.
Who would have thought? Who would have damn thought? Wait, are we over 30 seconds yet? Who would have fucking thought? Shit, don't make no difference to me, bro. Shit, Family got mad easy to talk about. Throughout the course of the run, relationships in Family Guy hasn't necessarily been something that they put a lot of stock into. And like, I get it though. Like, initially I get it. Like, the show likes to play around. It likes to stretch things. It likes to throw its characters in different scenarios or whatever. And as a result, some things aren't consistent. Some things just don't hold up when you pair them against each other or whatever. But some things are true most of the time, right? Quagmire hates Brian most of the time. Stewie loves Rupert most of the time. And Stewie and Brian are friends most of the time. But let's take that a little deeper. What if I told you that Brian and Stewie are not only best friends as presented in the show, but Brian almost acts as his father? Nah, this ain't some kind of crack theory about how Brian fucked Lois and had a fucking seed or whatever. That shit'd be gross. I'm not doing that up here. But I think it'd be interesting to sit back and analyze how for the past 20 years, Stewie's actual parent was Brian.
Lucy's.
Real quick, today's video is actually brought to you by the service Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of different classes covering dozens of different creative topics, all taught by well-versed professionals. Have a specific skill that you're trying to learn? Well, Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From photography to illustration to graphic design, freelancing, and more, you can find classes that will match your goals and interests. I know I have a lot of new things that I want to try out, and Skillshare helps me do that. If you're into writing and want to write something like we're talking about today, then definitely try out Joshua Dickinson's Write Your Screenplay, The Craft of Story, Structure, and Script, so that you're not annoying your audience with the same narrative and joke structure in Kanye West and Unity and Chris Brown dying and Stomp the Yard.
We're a little short. Hell.
Don't worry, gang, I got you. The first 1,000 people to use the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can explore your creativity while having to put the bag up. Might as well get on your big brain shit. As always, just go to the link in the description for a 1-month free trial. All you gotta do is go down to the link in the description for a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Talking about Family Guy characters on the internet is really hard because it's like everybody has their minds made up before you could even open your damn mouth. I personally think that a lot of you niggas just get really caught up in trying to look at these characters as actual people in real life instead of just like stupid, mean cartoon characters like you're supposed to, but whatever.
Jerome, can you tell that piece of shit asshole to fucking get the hell out of here before I fucking kick him in the face?
I already know I'm about to get 10 paragraph long comments that I'm not gonna fucking read just off that sentence alone. But I do think that analyzing the few consistent aspects of this show is very interesting, and Stewie and Brian's relationship is one of those things. Over time, I started to realize that Brian spends more time with Peter and Lois's son than they do, to the point where they've gone to different countries together, going back in time. This nigga got shot.
Ah, Stewie!
And they don't even seem to fucking notice. Not only that, but I go as far as to say that Brian is the only character that has Stewie's best interest at heart most of the time. And before you start too, like, I'm well aware of the fact that there's episodes where this isn't exactly like consistent and he's just like an asshole to Stewie. And I am extremely aware of the fact that this is just a wild thing to conceptualize with Brian in general, since this nigga got a whole fucking kid that he actively avoids. I ain't seen this nigga Dylan in like 6 years on bro.
I actually have a kid.
Oh, that's sweet. How old is he?
I don't know. How long ago was Ratatouille?
But I do think that what I am actually going to talk about has a very visible and clear pattern that's worth bringing up. A few months ago, right, I remember rewatching season 14's The Peanut Butter Kid. And it's really what started this thought process. I even tweeted about it. Peter and Lois want to stack some more bread for Stewie's college fund, which ends up with them getting him some acting gigs. Not before long, they forget about all that college shit and start spending the bread on like bad bullshit. They got this nigga drinking Molly milk just so he could keep the energy up because they working him so hard.
Whoa, mama, there's a kick like a mule. Who will buy this wonderful morning? Such a sky you never did see.
There he is.
And who is it that tells them that they shouldn't do this to him and just let him be a baby? Brian.
I mean, the world of child acting can be a pretty bad environment for a kid. Maybe we should just let Stewie's childhood be about being a child.
Wasn't your kid an actor, you jagoff?
Didn't your father hate your guts and die?
Peter and Lois, Stewie's actual parents, lose sight of the fact that not only are they overworking their fucking 1-year-old, but that they weren't even saving the bread that they should be using for his college fund. And most of the episode is Brian yelling at them, trying to tell them that they're wrong. Also in season 14, there's this episode, a lot going on upstairs. If you thought we was about to just have one episode example, you got me chopped and screwed, nigga. In this one, Stewie starts to have these crazy ass nightmares with this big ass, wild ass monster. So he builds a machine that Brian can use to go inside his dreams in order to stop everything.
That's right, Brian. I want you to come inside me while I'm asleep.
Don't say it like that.
And Lois, I guess, locks Peter and him in the attic or something like that. When Brian goes in and actually kills the monster, we see that it was actually just him. But why though? Is Stewie like scared of this nigga? Well, no. We actually find out that Stewie is really worried about letting Brian down because, well, shit, he practically just says my fucking thesis. And he just say I'm dragging it now, goofies.
You've been more of a father figure to me than the fat man ever has been or ever will be. Look, I know I'm always busting your balls, but it's just because you're the only person in this house whose judgment actually matters to me.
Wow. Thanks, Stewie.
The episode actually starts with making this Peter and Lois's issue too. Like they have a chance to be actual parents.
I think they've got this thing backwards.
Stewie can't sleep, so the first place that he goes is to his parents. But they don't fucking do anything. In fact, one of them fucking leaves because he can't sleep. I think it's also important to understand and acknowledge that Brian is one of the only people in the family that always has and always could understand Stewie, Chris being a second.
Why are you so negative all the time?
What? I don't know. What?
It's cool they actually set this up in the first season.
The devil are you talking about?
It's your birthday, dude!
And here's a bonus clip of Lois understanding Stewie just because this scene will never not fucking confuse me.
Bye-bye, Stewie. Mommy will be upstairs to kiss you goodnight.
Burn in hell!
Hell. Hell has fire. I agree with Stewie.
Brian understands Stewie more than anyone else can, and I think he knows this. And I think Stewie does too. And because of this, I think Brian takes it upon himself to listen to Stewie and cater to his needs as he's growing up. And plus, I mean, like, look, right? They joke about Brian's intelligence as he becomes more and more pretentious, but he is the closest that Stewie has to an intellectual equal. Like, you can't even talk about something like this without bringing up this scene from season 8's classic Brian and Stewie.
You're my only friend, Brian. If I didn't have you, I'd be lost.
You'd be okay.
No, I wouldn't. I don't really care for anybody else, just you. You're the only one I like.
Despite how inconsistent this cartoon can be, there are more examples of Brian and Stewie caring about each other than them fucking each other over. In the true context of Family Guy, or at least the one that I'm actively willing to count to make my very next point work, Peter found Brian on the street not too long before the start of the series. At least maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe, I don't know. But regardless of how much time it was, Stewie is the only Griffin kid that Brian actually saw grow up. He's the only birth that Brian was around for. He's the only first steps, first word that Brian saw with his own 2 eyes. Brian and Stewie's connection is because they both are the newest additions to the family. And I think because of this, Brian takes it upon himself to make sure that Stewie is okay. Sometimes I'm well aware that this shit isn't carved in the stone, y'all. The show is fucking stupid. Alright, didn't this nigga give him herpes or something?
Yeah, but you know.
But I do think that is really sweet that these 2 characters share that in common, and because of it, they're always there for each other when it truly counts. When you live in a family that's just full of people that don't understand you, it's always nice to have that one person who does. The one person who actually hears you, who gets you on a level that no one else does, who'll jump to your defense no matter what. And what better 2 characters to explore that kind of relationship with than a boy and his dog?
Why are you winking at our baby, you creep? God, that's weird. I don't want to ever see that happen again.
the sea.